So the other day, my brother hits me up and asks, "Hey Daniel, can you teach me how to make some Thai curry?" So I said, "Of course." So now I'm making a video about it. Let me show you how to make Thai curry. Alright, so these are the vegetables I'm using today. I'm using half a yellow onion, a large yellow potato. You can use a russet if you want, an eggplant, and a carrot. For the onions, all I'm going to do is slice it down thinly. This is going to be the base for my sauce. I want it to be thin so that it will cook into the curry. For the carrot, I'm going to be cutting it into this crisscross fashion. I believe that this shape gives the best texture for the curry. It's just an interesting shape that I like to cut, but you can cut into rounds, half moons, whatever you want, it's fine. For the eggplant, I'm just going to be using half of it. And all I'm going to do is take that half, slice it in half, and then slice it on a diagonal, just like this. I don't like to do anything fancy in my eggplant. And for the potato, all I'm going to do is slice it down in half, and then slice each of those halves into slices thick enough so that the end result will be 1/2 inch cubes. So for the potato, you can cut it bigger or smaller, but just keep in mind that the smaller you go, the quicker they cook, and the bigger you cut, the longer it will take to cook. Now for my protein of choice, I'm going to be using tofu, and I'm only going to be using half a block. I'm going to cut the tofu in the same size as my potato. If you're using a meat product like beef, chicken, or pork, just keep in mind that you want to cut it pretty thin because you want it to cook quickly along with your other ingredients. So to cook the curry, I'm going to be using this coconut milk. I like the Thai brands because they're much creamier, so just find a coconut milk that is high in fat. Don't get the low fat ones because it's not going to give you a good end result. So what I'm going to do is just add in the fat that's at the top of this can. I'm going to add in about 3 tablespoons worth, and I'm going to use this to cook my curry paste. And talking about curry paste, this is the one I'm going to use. It's a Panang Curry paste, and this is the brand. But go ahead and use any paste you want from any brand at any kind. It will taste delicious. Just trust me on that. And whatever you use, just use a 1/4 cup's worth if you want about 4 servings. And all I'm going to do is just cook it down with the coconut fat in the pan. And just make sure you scrape down the sides and the bottom so nothing sticks and burns. And I noticed mine was starting to get a little stuck, so I added a little bit of oil and cooked that down. And I noticed it's getting a little dry as well. So I'm adding a touch of water just so I can thin it out so that when I throw in my onions, the paste doesn't burn before my onion cooks down. So just like this, I want to stir it through, dissolve everything just like this. And if you notice, I am stirring. And then at this point, this is when I add in my yellow onions. And then at this point, this is when I add in my onions. Go ahead, again, stir it through and cook it and make sure it gets nice and soft. You don't need to put serious color on it or anything. Just cook it down until the water evaporates and then the onions are soft. And then at this point is when you want to add in your potatoes. And then, what is the name of the game? Stirring. So I'm just going to stir it through, make sure my potato is coated in this paste. Make sure everything is coated. And once it's coated like this, I'm going to add in just enough water to come up about a 1/4 way up of the potato. The reason why I'm adding so little water because I just want enough water to cook the potato, but not too much water to add to the liquid of this curry. I want the coconut milk to be the main component of the liquid for this curry. So I'm just going to put a lid on it, cook it for 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes later I'm going to take off the lid and add in my eggplant. So for whatever size you cut your potato to, just add your eggplant once it's halfway cooked through. This is a perfect time to add in the eggplant because you don't want the eggplant to get too soggy. And if it does get too soggy, it'll just disintegrate into your broth. And then once everything is stirred through, I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the can of the coconut milk. Fat and liquid included. And then you guessed it, stir it through. So once your eggplants are in and stirred through, let it cook for another 5 minutes. And then now add in your carrots. And then stir the carrots in to make sure that it's in the sauce. And then this is when you want to add in your tofu as well, after everything's stirred in. As I'm stirring the tofu in, I'm doing it gently so that the tofu will not break up into the curry. So now that I have my carrots and tofu stirred in, I'm only going to cook it for 5 more minutes because I don't want my carrots to be cooked all the way through because I want to retain some of that crunch. But if you want your carrots softer, go ahead and cook it longer. And if you, want it super crunchy, I suggest not cooking it at all. Just throw it straight in. Up to you. So once all your veggies are cooked through and to the tenderness of your desires, this is when you want to add in your seasoning. And the first thing I'm going to add is my magic mushroom powder. All I need is a teaspoon. If you haven't heard of this before, this will give you the umami. My next ingredient is sugar, just 1.5 teaspoons to start. And then for the sour component, I'm going to add in a teaspoon of tamarind paste. And my last ingredient is a teaspoon of fish sauce. Stir that through and make sure everything's dissolved. I'm trying to hit sweet, salty, sour, and savory. That is the balance I am trying to achieve with this curry. So once everything's stirred through, I'm gonna give it a taste. And I felt like it needed a bit more sugar, so another 1.5 teaspoons. And then stir it through. And then give it another taste. So it's lacking on salty, so I'm going to add in another teaspoon of fish sauce. I'm going to give that a taste. And now the seasoning is perfect. And once you've hit a balance of all 4 elements, it's time to head to the taste test. Alright, here's my curry. Anyways, let's give it a try. I have some rice. So what I'm going to do is take a spoon of my rice and just put it right into the curry. Because there's nothing better than rice and curry, right? So, alright. Here's a bite. Cheers. Let's see, focus. Cheers. So good. Alright. Alright, sorry. One more spoon. Here's a bite with the eggplant, the tofu, and a piece of chili. Alright, cheers. So good. Alright. Alright, this is just so flavorful. When you think of Thai food, you think of a balance of flavors, and this is exactly what it has. It has sweet, it has salty, it has sour, and it has savory. Just all of that in your mouth creates like a flavor bomb. And then with the rice, just to kind of like balance that out, to mellow that out a little bit, it's just perfect. So curry is a good usage of any leftovers you have in your fridge. So you have like broccoli, cabbage, mushrooms, anything you have at all, just throw it into the curry and you'll create a good dish out of it. So give this recipe a try and let me know how it goes in the comments below. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. For more content like this, hit the subscribe button or hit this button right here. And for my previous video, hit the button right there. And I'll catch you on the next one. And I will be eating this. Bye.